What is up, sports fans, and welcome back to an early week episode of Pez's Picks. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by the man with the picks himself, Pez. Pez, let me start off by saying happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. I prefer Festivus myself, but nonetheless, happy holidays, Pez.
Same to you, Jeff, and everybody. I was going to talk about this in a Pez's Picks top 5 that'll be coming up soon.
Sure.
I kind of worked a different angle, but really the greatest holiday period, a time period. We get an extended summer break throughout the winter. You know, I'm a winter guy, Jeff. I'm a skier. Whether it's Jesus or Muhammad or Allah or Buddha or whoever, Abraham, if you're praying or you're not, enjoy the time off. This is what America's all about. Get to a church, a temple if you want. If not, hit a bar, maybe sit home. You get time off from work, and we're overworked in this country, Jeff. America works too much. More leisure time would make everybody happier. At Pez's Picks, this is what we're doing. We're providing a service to give people the money to quit, Jeff. Maybe quit. I mean, who knows? No, I'm not saying that. Don't quit your job. But a more leisure time, always a very helpful thing. And I love a winter holiday. 4th of July is great, but a winter holiday, especially if we get snow, can't wait.
Absolutely. And you said it just now. You're trying to help people. Boy, did you help them last week. Last week, combined with leans that we posted on social media handles. You can find us on all social media platforms at Pez's Picks. 9-1, Pez. What did we learn from last week?
It's taken a long time, Jeff, with pro. But with college, you know what we learned? That the more athletic team, the better defense is going to win a lot of these ball games. And in all 3 of our picks, JMU was a fun one. We kind of backdoor covered them, and we felt that was covered. That was our lean. But our 3 official picks: Alabama over Oklahoma, Miami over Texas A&M, and Ole Miss over Tulane. The reality was those defenses dominated those games, and Miami, maybe the best D line in the country. Alabama, fantastic effort, especially with the D line in the second half. And Ole Miss, that team was humming. I think Ole Miss, that coach could be an upgrade. He's a Saban guy, a Saban disciple. He's a player's coach. If you're not an athlete and you don't know what that means, a player's coach is a coach that kind of feels like one of the players, but the respected guy, not some pushover, and a guy that is going to go to fight with the players. And I love him. I can't think of his name right now, but first game played great. I mean, I think in college, what we have to look at going forward is stay away from some of these fringe bowls where there's potential where none of the starters are going to play. Coaches are flipping around as well, and stick to these chalk playoff games. It's a different level of betting, Jeff. I think you have more consistency with these playoff games. At this point, we know the teams we're going to get, and I think the data helps us find advantages in the lines, and we found them this week. I think some of those lines were off. The Miami line, to me, was off from the beginning. I thought they should have been favored by 3, but who are we, Jeff? Who are we? We'll take the gift from sports books anytime we can get them.
Absolutely. And for those that are trying to bet on the bowl games, pay attention to Pez. Every now and then he gets wind of coaches that the team is under complete duress, like the ship is sinking, and you're like, yo, bet money on the other team because this team is in dire straits. Every now and then you get that. You got to follow us again on social media and check out Pez'sPicks.com. So college, we finished 4-0 last week, which brings our overall college record. You should be proud of this one, Pez. 26-14 on the season.
I mean, unbelievable, Jeff. We're feeling great about it. We're getting in the high 60% range. Once you get over 70, and instead of the wine, I told you, Jeff, it's holiday season. You got to have at least one drink a day. Instead of the Chianti here, maybe we'll do champagne, Jeff. We get over 70%. I'm going to send you down a bottle. I know you're not a big drinker. I'll send you down some of that cold duck, whatever it's called. We'll toast that, Jeff. But it's still go time, right? We got to keep working. The amount of coverage of these games, and we're getting a week off here. There's no playoff games this week. I'm not sure if we're going to take a play. We considered taking UNLV over Ohio. I don't know if you read about Jeff, but Ohio, we had a duplicate of the Michigan situation, I would argue, aside from the arrest and the potential violence. But this guy was dating a potential student at the time. The coach, he was drunk, fired him. That happened a couple weeks ago. So I think we're not going to take that bait. I wouldn't be shocked if Ohio came out and played well. So we're looking at maybe at Georgia Tech, maybe this week. But it's tough. We got to make sure the guys are playing that we want to play. And that's going to be a difficult thing going through bowl season.
All right. Then we go to the NFL, which has been our bugaboo this season, but we're not alone. Coming into this week, we were 18-20, but we go 5-1 in the NFL action last week. Now we've moved above the Mendoza line of 500, 23-21 on the season. Pez, what went right in the NFL this week for you?
An old gambling technique, Jeff. This is a season of inconsistency in the NFL. It's kind of a realigning season where we're seeing teams, Carolina, even Chicago, and teams like Kansas City and Indianapolis in one season up and down. Fates are changing, history's changing, dominance is shifting. So in these inconsistent seasons where the Ravens stink all of a sudden, how'd that happen, Jeff, right? So on these inconsistent seasons, it's actually not the hardest gambling season. You have a pretty good likelihood that if you take a certain volume of games and you bet on teams that traditionally or data-wise are going to put up numbers that you think they will, half the time they're going to do that, right? And that's what we've seen. Baltimore has stunk half the games. They've looked good a couple games. Washington, Philadelphia Eagles, even in a similar situation. Pittsburgh even. So at this time of year, I think that changes. Teams get a little bit more focused, especially veterans teams. I was talking with some jabronis today. I think this is the new norm for NFL wagering. 17-game schedule. I think coaches, GMs, and star players have discussed we're not going to give our entire package. We're not going to ask you to do things that are going to risk injury weeks, I don't know, maybe 1 through 12, right? I don't think Jalen Hurts was running in the first half of the season because that was a smart thing. They don't want to get him hurt. You're better off losing 4 or 5 games and limiting kind of danger to your top players by not running quarterbacks, maybe not opening up the playbook completely, maybe not running your running back into the ground. You're better off even losing 4 or 5 games in a 17-game season than severe injury. Once you have an injury to quarterback, running back, top wide receiver, forget about it. Your season's over usually. So I think that's something that we're going to have to adjust to going forward. But I think right now it's game on. There are teams that quit, and we love quitters, Jeff. I mean, we look at it this week. Washington, the Commanders, quit-o on that team. That's an easy W. We talked about Miami and Arlene. Ben Tua, I think, was a popular guy. That team, quit-o. I mean, there was no fight for that Miami Dolphin team for the first time all season. Probably not a smart thing to start Ewers. So at this point in the season, we're beyond that mediocre period where Jalen's not going to run the ball. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to gun that ball 45 times if he has to. There's nothing to lose, right? So at that point, you get your chips on the table. This is when you preferably go all in. Last week of the season, we'll have a little bit of a different conversation, but this is a good time to make money.
Well, I was going to ask you about, we're going into week 17, and there's so many teams now that have been eliminated from the playoffs. Do you tend to stay away from the teams that might be like 2 teams that have been eliminated? Do you tend to just be like, that's too much of a crapshoot? For instance, Kansas City, their backup, Gardner Minshew, tears his ACL. They're signing some schmuck off of a practice squad to be their quarterback. How do you approach these late, and week 18 is different because the lines aren't out. They don't know what the records are. They don't know where they're playing, when they're playing, or what time they're playing. What's your take on these last 2 weeks, especially week 17?
Every team is different. We're Tennessee, young team, young quarterback who hasn't had success, looking to try to prove himself, right? Make a career out of this thing and kind of get another deal. He's on a rookie deal. So this week with Kansas City, with no Mahomes, I mean, that team out of the playoffs, that was an end of, 10 years of dominance. We felt without a doubt there'd be an exhale, a lack of focus, and all the above happened, especially poor Minshew goes down, then you're on to a third-string guy. And Tennessee has a lot to play for. They're playing for money. Where the Kansas City guys, they've all cashed in, right? I mean, some of them on the team, but for the most part, these guys are going to be back on the team or somewhere else if they want next year, an exhale period. And we do take all that into account. But Tennessee, a 2-win team, on paper, you're like, how are you betting a 2-win team? The likelihood of them giving max effort was higher than Kansas City. Any NFL team giving max effort against a team that's kind of playing it like a scrimmage game, forget about it. We're going to jump on that. That's an advantage. That's the information we're looking for. I thought the same thing with Cincinnati and Miami. I felt like he lost the team on that deal. I know if I was a player, Tua was out there risking his life, right? I mean, this guy's got serious head injuries in his past. He's still fighting to bench that dude and start that Ewers guy who, I don't know, he didn't look great, Jeff. So I think these are things you have to throw into the lineup. Washington, to me, quit on that, coach. Teams that are both out of the playoffs doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad investment, but it's a team-by-team basis. You got to look at the quarterback situation. Coaches on the hot seat, sometimes they lose teams. But Cleveland Browns a good example. Still playing hard, right? And that, that team's defensive, they want Garrett to get that, that record. I don't know if he got it this week or not. Did he, Jeff?
He's one away. He's one away.
Okay, so they're playing hard because that guy's a madman. And if you don't play hard, you cost him that, he'll probably kick your ass. I mean, this guy probably beat up half the team. This is one of the scary. He's Ray Lewis scary to me, Jeff, which I find to be a shock. I believe Kirkland was the linebacker on your team that I also found shockingly terrifying. So those guys, they control a room. They make the room better. And the Eagles have a bunch of guys like this. They're going to give max effort every week.
Shout out to Levon Kirkland, wore number 99 for the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 90s, a tremendous athlete. I actually got the chance to interview him and asked him, do you think that you could still play in today's NFL? He said, no doubt about it.
I believe he spent $250,000 a year to keep his body fit, if I wasn't wrong, right, Joe? I mean, this guy was a machine. Joe Rogan, I listened to some of this guy's podcasts. He had Mike Tyson on. He later would tell guys, I was afraid to talk to him, knowing this guy could just reach across the trail. He just knocked me out with one play and kill me, right? So we saw it this weekend with Jake Paul. When you're up against a professional boxer, professional football player like a Kirkland or Ray Lewis, these are different human beings. These are powerful. These are modern-day gladiators. And I'm jealous, Chef. I'd love to meet that guy. I'd love to go out and hang out with that guy. It'd be great. That's a very powerful thing. You can do whatever you want in that bar. Who's messing with that guy?
All right. Hey, I want to ask you, and I don't know if you have this at the ready. I'm kind of springing this on you last second. Here we are in week 17. How have your future plays gone? Got to go all the way back to the summertime before everything, the schedule had been released, but we were not into preseason yet. And you put some plays out division by division. And I'm curious, I know you took the Steelers over 8.5, so that's already cashed. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Steelers.
How are you otherwise with your future plays?
We're looking right now at about 7 or 8 cashed. And I believe we're at 4 losses so far. And we're gonna end up ahead, but it might be only by a team or two, which is fine. I mean, we'll be proud of that. Future bets are fun. Future bets the research you do on future bets sets you up for your early gambling season. I think it's an important thing to analyze every team. Browns hurt us, Jeff. We're not going to win that one. The Jets hurt us too. Two dog meat teams. Probably shouldn't have bet on. Another team that put us in our place, the Bears. We took the under at 7.5. God bless him. That guy's playing well. Kid had a great win. I mean, maybe that's his moment. Having said that, Philadelphia Eagles kicked their ass in the playoffs, Jeff. Forget about it. They're not coming to Philly. They're not beating us in Chicago either, Jeff. You watch it. Philadelphia Eagles on a rolling progression to peak at the right time, Jeff. I can't wait.
All right. Hey, before we move on to anything like the top 5, I do want to get your take. I know you're a boxing guy. Jake Paul's fight happened. I did not watch it, but I did see the highlights and a lot of the video afterwards. Before we talk about that fight, did you happen to see the videos that have come out since then about Mike Tyson pulling punches in their fight?
Well, I have, Jeff, and it's something I talked about with a colleague of mine, the old action man who was going to watch the fight. I think he had money on it. I said these fights are fraud.
Yeah,
these guys. Before the fight, we talked about they're pulling punches. This guy's paying people off to kind of carry him. He owns the boxing whatever federation. So that's what I thought going into it. I did watch the fight, Jeff. Anthony Joshua did not go into this fight.
He did not pull punches.
And we talked about it, Jeff. Mike Tyson, he could have killed him.
Yeah.
He broke his jaw in 2 places so badly after the fight. You could see it. His teeth were in line. They didn't take teeth out. He literally knocked his teeth out. He had to go to surgery. When you break a jaw in 2 places, I mean, and I think at the end of the day, I don't even think he was trying his hardest. I think he was pulling back a little bit. He was out there sparring with a guy who's not even a sparring partner. This is a dangerous precedent. And, Jake Paul is risking his life. I mean, I've been around boxing a lot. I did a little bit of it. When a boxer hits you, it's got a different power. You're trained. This guy's not trained. He still looks like a drunk guy in a bar fighting against one of the best fighters in the last, 20 years?
Yeah.
And I mean, just physically, when they walked out there, I said, oh, man, this is going to be a bad night. And, hey, I don't know. Maybe there was a deal when he broke it. I liked how he complimented Jake Paul he got up every time I knocked him down. But at the end of the day, it's scary business. People die in the ring. MMA, nobody dies. And they don't take the prolonged punishment you take in boxing. An MMA fight, a round even. 1 minute's pretty common. With gloves, you're going to take a beating. And this poor guy, I mean, you might never be the same. God bless him. Get back out there, Jake Paul. This is enjoyable for me.
I mean, I got to be honest. Like when I saw the video of Mike Tyson, and they were showing like a very similar situation. Jake Paul's against the ropes. It's the left to the body to get his hands to go down, and then it's the right over the top. And you saw Tyson at least twice, and he stopped. And he stopped, and he could have just delivered that one punch that we've seen Mike Tyson do his entire career that would have sent him to the mat for good. And then, but this last fight, that guy, whether there was an agreement and he broke it, he did not pull punches. He went low and then came right over the top.
I think a lot of it is Mike Tyson. If he was Anthony Joshua's age, he would have killed Jake Paul. He would have gone in there with the mentality to murder him, because that's what boxers have to. You're fighting for your life. I mean, that's combat sports. You're literally fighting to not be killed. So this guy only retired less than a year. Mentality is still there. I think he was carrying him a little bit because he didn't want to hurt him. I think he could have easily pummeled him in round 1, round 2. I think he wanted to get a little work too, and now he's calling for a rematch. He wants to fight, the best boxers in the world. So, I think maybe a good message to billionaires and popular people out there: this ain't a game. This isn't a game to get involved with. This isn't something to mess around with. Boxing is a dangerous sport. And, I mean, at the end of the day, it's gladiators. So.
Do you think, last question here before we move on, do you think this is good for boxing to get people to be talking about the sport, to have it back in the news again? It really has kind of fallen by the wayside with the UFC and mixed martial arts kind of taking over. What's your take on that?
I hope so, Jeff. I've watched a little MMA. I don't love it as much. I mean, I respect the sport, and I think it's got some good qualities and what have you. But boxing to me is, we're going back to the original Olympic times. I mean, thousands of years old. I think it has a little bit more of an athleticism to it. You can't, tackle guy. You can't kick guy. You can't do wrestling moves, submission holds, right? So to me, it's a little bit more of an art form. It's speed, it's power, it's training. The better and fitter boxer generally wins. I've taught my son this. He's doing some wrestling now. Said if you're fitter, you cannot get pinned for a couple periods, and then you're on, no matter how well the guy's trained. So I love boxing. I grew up with it. I probably watched that more than football growing up, and I understand the dangers to it and why a lot of people wouldn't go into it. But when I think of Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, you think of Macho Camacho. I mean, some of these great fighters, like Muhammad Ali. I didn't get to see him, but I was born on the day he fought in the jungle. George Foreman, I got to see that resurgence. Tyson Holyfield. I mean, you name it. An amazing reality show that I think's been replaced by social reality shows. But boxing was a reality show. You knew for months this was coming. These guys hyped it up. The weigh-ins. I mean, the tension for boxing matches was, to me, even more exciting than Super Bowls.
Well, I will say this, because I've been introduced to mixed martial arts in a different way. Back in the early UFC era, we had some friends that did jujitsu and stuff, and they would kind of explain stuff. My daughters take jujitsu now. My oldest daughter competes.
Good for them.
Yeah, well, it's a crazy world. But anyways.
Got to kick the boys' ass, Chef.
Hell yeah.
Good for them. You got to kick those boys' ass.
That's right. So when you compete and you know what's happening, it's a different level. Like when you actually know what they're trying to do and when they get it, the Kamaras, the guillotines, the leg locks, all that stuff. You watch it and it's like a chess match, and you always have to think 1 or 2 moves ahead of time. It is fascinating, but still, I don't want to spend too much time, but I wanted to get your take on that.
Well, I think of the Gracie clan, Jeff. To me, the most dominant MMA fighters. I mean, these guys were basically judo wrestlers and would kill the most powerful people. If they got their hands on you, you were dead. I mean, that to me is
and they wore gis, in the UFC,
Fantastic.
which is insane.
They could get grabbed, and they used it to their advantage, right?
Yeah.
Where I think some of these dudes, Jeff, I don't know, but I've heard some rumors they might be taking some sort of maybe not too legal pharmaceuticals to get in this fight. And it's a bar fight, and they're giant humans. I'm not saying I want to mess with them, but I don't know. I think Roadhouse 2, Jeff, examines a little bit of this when we had the crazy Irish guy and Jake Gyllenhaal fighting in Roadhouse 2. I don't know if you saw that. Was that an insult to Roadhouse 1? Perhaps, Jeff. But it showed the brutality of MMA to the point that, to me, it's tough to watch. And that's tough, Dad, to be able to watch your daughters do that. That's got to be difficult.
It is one of the most stressful things I've ever done.
I can't imagine.
Having to have watched. But thankfully, my daughter is only going up against people that are the same gender. They're the same skill level, all that stuff. We're not going to get into that. All right. What's your top 5 this week, Pez?
Jeff, we got a good one. We threw around a couple ideas here. The wife hated the first 5. She's my best critic, right? So just hit me. Top 5 Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday gifts for a Pez's Pick type of dad or man. Okay, man, right? You don't have to be a dad to like these. Jeff, number 5. These are some of the now. Just to let it disclaimer: none of these companies are sponsoring us, Jeff. In the words of Ari Gold, we're not pimps, but we might be whores. We'll take their money if they want to sponsor us. But as of now, these are just some of Pez's Picks' favorite things. Great gifts to give a man 25 or older. Number 5, Jeff. I shouldn't do this. Skiers going to be really pissed at me. This is a thing that we've hidden for about 15 years now. Once the public hears about it, Jeff Pez's Picks Army is going to go buy them. Price will go up, but what the hell? We got to share. Kinko gloves for skiing, Jeff. The Kinko glove is I believe a designer pigskin glove. It retails at about $20. This is the warmest glove in the history of skiing. You can see we got this wristband which neatly goes up the jacket. The glove is soft. It comes in a mitten. The mitten, it's got to be 0 or colder. Fantastic glove, Jeff. The greatest glove in Pez's Picks life. The Kinko work glove. You don't have to be a skier, just to wear, working to and from your car. Kinko glove. Love you. Thank you very much. Don't jack up the price. Number 4. Corduroy pants, Jeff. Corduroy, I'm wearing them right now. If I could deck myself in a corduroy tuxedo every day, I would. Jeff, the jean is dead. America has killed the jeans. You put those jeans on, it's like putting leggings on now. You can barely get your foot through them. They're tight in areas you don't want, Jeff. The corduroy is sturdy. It says, hey, is this guy a bum or is he going to work? It's got a lot of different looks. The material is fantastic. The corduroy lets you breathe in all the right areas. It's still baggy, Jeff. The kids haven't taken over this. Corduroy pants, get on it. Every man should have 10 pair, Jeff. Number 3, the buffalo wing. Now, why is this a Christmas gift? I would love it. On Christmas, my son walked over a steaming hot pile of buffalo wings for me as a gift, Jeff. What man wouldn't? What better breakfast is a buffalo wing from your local bar? If you don't want to go that far, Jeff, maybe an IOU, we're taking you out tomorrow for a buffalo wing. Maybe the most American food, right? At the end of the day, it's American created, I believe. I didn't even know buffaloes had wings, but they made them up in Buffalo, New York. Different sauces. I love the spice, Jeff. The buffalo wing, great gift. Number 2, the team sweater, Jeff. I know you love it. We got the Eagle sweater on. As you get older, as the kids say, your aura, everybody needs a team sweater. You can wear it to the office. You can wear it out. This one's ridiculous, Jeff, but I get Go Birds constantly. It makes me feel part of a community. Appreciate the team sweater. You can go classy. My buddy went to a holiday party this weekend, Jeff. He looked like Danny Terrio in Saturday Night Fever. We're like, what kind of outfit is that? He's got the buttons down to here. You wear the team sweater. Have some respect for yourself as a growing man, too. Number 2, team sweater. Number 1, Jeff. A little run-in. Most of the time I'm hiking, sometimes just walking. The Hoka shoe, Jeff. The most moronic ever created. Look at the heel on this thing. Ridiculous. This would be a Saturday Night Live skit. A gigantic sole. Walking on it, you gain 2-3 inches, which is great, Jeff. I feel taller in crowds. The cushion on these things, I've never felt anything like it. I think somebody did some of that Muha stuff, some marijuana, and they designed the shoe and the ridiculous color. It is the most comfortable footwear you can get, Jeff, to hike, to stand in. And with this extra sole, I think you get more insulation. My feet have never been warmer. Hoka, you want to send us some shoes, we'll wear them. We're not sponsored by them, but I love you for it. I don't know who created this, Mr. Hoka, whatever your name is. Fantastic. The greatest running, hiking, standing, whatever you want to call it, ridiculous shoe, Jeff. That's number 1.
There you go. What a top 5. I'm Team Ultra, ALTRA, which is a wide toe box shoe. If you ever were interested in those, they're competitors to Hoka, but still great shoes.
It's ridiculous, Jeff. I mean, my kid tells me you look like a moron in those. I go, thank you. I mean, this as orange as it gets. Those Ultras, I'll take a look, Jeff. But I don't know. This thing, you could walk to the moon, and your feet would be thanking you, Jeff.
Oh yeah. All right. Hey, Pez, we got a big week coming up still, and we're doing this show earlier this week. What's coming up, and what are your thoughts heading into the NFL in Week 17?
We'll have less plays this week just because the college schedule is down. There's no playoff games. We'll early in the week have games. I think New Year's Eve, Miami plays, and Ohio State, big game there, Jeff. I think 10-point spread. We have to punch the numbers. We'll have a few NFL games, but you always got to judge the card. We've got to judge injuries, and there's been a lot of them in that NFL. So the action's coming, and we'll be over the holidays. We'll be putting some NBA plays out. It's here. It's here, Jeff. We're not saying we want to jump into the NBA pool, but you have to at this point of year. Max effort starts. Christmas Day is always a big day. We probably have some plays coming out on that. Watch Instagram for those.
Yeah. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, if that's your thing, Twitter, @Pez's Picks for all of them. Check us out on YouTube as well, @Pez's Picks. Pez, man, I hope you have a great holiday. Enjoy it up in the mountains, and we'll talk next week. Take it easy.
You too, Jeff. Love you all. Love you, Jeff. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's. Let's go. Let's make some money.
Love it.